Good morning from the spectacular terminus here at London St Pancras, and today you join me for a journey with Southeastern on one of their high-speed trains down to the heart of Kent. And usually Southeastern services depart from Cannon Street, Charing Cross, Victoria, those southern London termini. However, today we'll be departing from here at St Pancras on one of their Javelin trains that run at 140 miles an hour down to Kent. We'll be taking the train down to Canterbury, so I'll be heading inside, having a look around at this terminus, and then we'll jump on board the train for my first ever time, and we'll see what it's like. St Pancras Railway Station, officially known since 2007 as St Pancras International, was opened by the Midland Railway in 1868 to serve their extensive rail network across the Midlands and north of England. Designed by George Gilbert Scott in an ornate Gothic red brick scheme, the station itself features an impressive single-span roof stretching over 200 metres long and 73 metres wide. However, all of this was once under threat, with several attempts during the 1960s to close the station and demolish the hotel, attempts which may have succeeded were it not for fierce opposition from figures like Poet Laureate John Betjeman, whose statue now adorns the station. Of course, the terminus is now most associated with Eurostar services to the continent, having been completely redeveloped throughout the 2000s to also include new domestic platforms for East Midlands services, underground platforms for Thameslink trains, and finally in 2009, the introduction of Southeastern high-speed services, which we'll be travelling on today. So with 15 minutes before our train, we headed up to platform 13, where our Southeastern high-speed departure was waiting to take us down to Kent. For today's trip, we'd be travelling on two 6-car Class 395 Javelin sets built by Hitachi in 2009 and capable of up to 140 miles per hour on AC power, making them the fastest domestic passenger trains in the UK. Of course, these sets are also capable of up to 100 miles per hour on Kent's third rail system when not travelling on high-speed lines. So without any delay, let's jump on board and take our seats in the fairly empty carriage. Now before we depart, let's have a quick look at the details of today's route down to Canterbury. For the first section of our journey to Ashford via Stratford and Ebbsfleet, we'll be travelling on High Speed 1, opened in its full form in 2007 at a cost of nearly £7 billion. Built to link London with the Channel Tunnel, which opened in 1994, HS1 tunnels under the Thames, taking us into the heart of Kent at speeds of up to 140 miles per hour. Upon reaching Ashford International, our train swaps overhead wires for third rail for the short journey onwards to Canterbury West station. Total journey time to cover the 70-mile route is scheduled to be just 54 minutes, giving us an average speed of 78 miles per hour, a figure no doubt much higher were it not for the more leisurely line speed from Ashford to Canterbury. Having departed St Pancras bang on time at 10:40, it's worth mentioning how much this journey cost us. For an advanced single to Canterbury West, it was just £10.75 each with a railcard discount, slightly more than the stopping service from London Victoria, but nearly 35 minutes quicker.
It was like, they were considering first like Italy or France, because they're like, oh, we've got this.
Shortly after departure, we reach our first stop of Stratford International, opened in 2009. At this point, I had a look around the seat, which, having been recently refurbished over the past couple of years, now features standard USB and USB-C plug sockets, as well as a very smart seat maquette.
I think it's not like it's not hard to understand.
Yeah, no, Shannon is like dying. I guess they do that. I was like, I did it. And read it.
Schools, stuff like that. Like, so, of course.
With another quick stop at Ebbsfleet International, we were soon speeding across the River Medway on the Medway Viaduct. Completed in 2002, the railway viaduct runs alongside two motorway viaducts built in 1963 and 2003 to carry the M2 on its route to Faversham. It was also at this point in 2003 that a specially formed Eurostar train attained a speed of 208 miles per hour, establishing a new speed record on the British railway network. And just 15 minutes after leaving Ashford, we were pulling into Canterbury West station, meaning it was time to alight our Javelin train as it made its way onwards to Margate, leaving just enough time to summarise today's high-speed journey. After that very quick 55-minute journey, I've made it to Canterbury in Kent, and overall it was actually a really nice journey. I was surprised at how smooth the trains were, running at 140 miles an hour on HS1. Really smooth, much smoother than the Azumas and the IETs. So I guess they could learn a thing or two from Southeastern's Javelins. But that concludes today's vlog. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and hopefully I will see you for the next adventure.